There are many ways to become a better football player, but one way is to look at and learn from the best. So today we'll show you 5 skills done by pro midfielders that you should definitely add to your game. Let's go! Starting off with number 1, the Mason Mount half turn. This is a very basic but essential skill for any midfielder. And the reason why this skill move is so fundamental is that it opens up the pitch and makes sure that you focus on attacking instead of playing passively. The move contains 2 steps. The first step is opening up your body by turning your shoulder towards the opponent's goal. Here, it's important that you time your move so you turn in the last second possible to make it more difficult for the opponent to read you. The second step of the move is the touch. It's important to keep the play going, so don't stop the ball completely when you take your touch. Instead, focus on controlling it a bit forward to set yourself up for a pass or a dribble. The second skill move is the Jong turn. Now, this move is a bit more advanced than the half turn, but don't worry guys, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly as well. This turn is obviously a signature move of Frenkie de Jong, but it's also used by a lot of other players in pressured situations to create some space. The move consists of 3 steps. Step 1 is looking over your shoulder when you receive the ball, because looking over your shoulder, you should watch how close the opponent is and how fast they're coming at you. And when you know that, you'll also know how quickly you need to do the turn. Second step is faking going to one side. Now is when you pull out your best acting skills, because selling this move and tricking the opponent into going the wrong way is what creates the space. And you'll need to be so convincing that the opponent starts following you instead of looking at the ball. And now that you've successfully fooled the opponent, you're ready for step 3, which is super simple. It's basically going back to the ball and accelerating in the opposite direction. The third skill is the dummy skip done by Luka Modric. Now, he certainly isn't the only player who's done this skill, but he's just really good at it. And this move is about tricking your opponent and making a fool out of them, which we like. So, how do you do it? Well, you don't really do anything, or so it looks like at least, because this move, much like the Jong turn, is all about outsmarting and tricking your opponent, where you need to make them forget about the ball and focus on you. And there are mainly 2 ways to do that. You can A, do a fake pass where the opponent thinks that the ball is being passed the wrong way and realizes too late that you're not actually touching it. But the most common way to do this move is by faking a touch. So instead of actually touching the ball, you let it run straight through your legs, fooling the opponent. And it's very important to actually overdo the fake touch so that the opponent follows you instead of the ball. And now we move on to a bit more of a flashy midfielder skill. The scoop turn done by Eriksen. Now, even though the scoop turn looks flashy, it's actually not that difficult, but there are still a few things to keep in mind when you want to do it. The first thing is to master the scoop itself. Kinda self-explanatory, because otherwise it doesn't work. But when first trying out the scoop, it can be a bit difficult to get the right speed and to keep it in one fluent motion. Now, I would recommend starting out just by practicing the scoop while you're standing still. And when you've mastered the scoop standing still, you can start doing it with a bit of speed. It is a skill move that's both performed at very low speed, but even also at normal or high speed, so it's a good thing to know how to do both. The last thing is not looking in the direction you're going. Now, you need to keep looking straight until you've moved into the new direction after the scoop. This will help you sell the move and make sure that the opponent can't predict your movement, so the scoop is a surprise. Then it works. But we saved the flashiest skill for last. And while this skill isn't used very often, it certainly worked when Kevin De Bruyne tried it. This is a bit more of an advanced skill move because you need the precise touch and feel of the ball before you're able to really sell it. The skill consists of 3 touches. A touch with the inside of your foot while turning to stop the ball, a ball roll to make the opponent stick out his leg to intercept the ball, and then at last, a touch with the outside of your foot to nutmeg and end off your opponent. Now, executing this skill move with the speed and the precision that KDB does is pretty advanced. But when you pull it off, the crowd, if there is one, will most likely go insane. For me at least, there's nothing more satisfying than a good old nutmeg. So there you go guys, 5 midfielder skills done by pros that you can start learning and hopefully implementing into your own game. And if you like these 5 skills, consider hitting up the playlist in the bottom of your screen to learn how to improve even more as a footballer. Now of course also don't forget to subscribe with the notifications on, and then finally tell us in the comment section right down below which skill you'd like us to teach you next. And with those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.